So let's get this thing started. And just to preempt your laughing, this here is because I don't have a windsock for my mic. So it's either look at the cotton or listen to Darth Vader. Alright, what I'm doing now, and I'm just taking the old coil off of this Kanger Toptank Mini deck using a very small star screwdriver, and it's the bits from this fantastic screwdriver set I bought. It's got all the odd little sizes like that. They're H5 and the T5 that you'll need for some builds and to take apart your eye stick. So there's the base of the Mini. Now what I'm building it on is going to be this vplum battery. I've got one already mounted and built. And this is right now set to 16 watts. Let's bring it up here too. You see me better. So there's lots of fog here. And plenty for blowing rings, obviously. So you don't need like a high power device. It's just how you build your coils and your juice, and having the air conditioner off would probably help. There. Not, and we used a 30 gauge Kanthal. And I'm going to be using a 3/32 screwdriver bit, because not everybody has one of these Coil Master jigs, so just as easy. Now I'm going to refer to my little tool here. This is the steam engine coil wrapping tool. So I'm going to be shooting for roughly 1.5 ohms on a single coil using 30 gauge Kanthal on a 0.25 or 2 millimeter build, because that'll just fit nicely in that little space there. And to do that, I'm going to need approximately 5 centimeters, about 6, call it 6 inches. Get the right end. I'm going to use a little bit more than 6 inches. I like to have extra to wrap around those screws. So it's pretty easy. I like to put one into the one of the legs along the threads of the drill. Then I'm going to wrap it backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Straighten my leg. Now, because of the way the deck's built, I also find it handy to have one of these because my eyes aren't what they used to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll actually pull this last wrap off, just like that. Until the leg comes out to the opposite side, just like that. Pull it down, snug it up, pull it tight. And just enough to get that over there. And there we have 5 wraps. Now you're going to watch the way your screws thread, because you don't want to tighten the wire when you put the screw down. And it's also better to make sure you get it through both sides of that screw post. I put my drill bit back in there, and this is going to help me position the coil right over the little hole that is in the center of this deck. That's where your air comes out. There's your leg. Here's your other leg. Goes to the other screw on the other side, all the way around the screw. And there's a little groove in the pose that you want your wire set into. And screw that down. Loosen up a little bit. I want that underneath the screw. There we go. I'll pull this up out of the way. Now I'm not clipping these wires just yet. I want to find out what my ohms come in at. And I said 1.5, 1.49. Now you can clip your leads from the top of the screws. And it's a very good reason that we're clipping this from the top of the screw and inside the actual build on the posts. And the reason is this little thing right here. Now that's your cover that's going to go on over this, and if those two wires are touching any part of this, it will short. One's positive, one's negative. The negative doesn't matter. The positive will short it out and it won't work. You'll get a no addy error. So, we'll take my screwdriver out on my drill bit. Bring over my battery. This is, like I said, I'm building on a 5 to 16 watt power supply. This is actually a vape plume, or vape only vplum battery. And I built this way because I find $3 a pop for the atomizer is kind of expensive. And same as every other video. You want to fire that at a nice low wattage. We'll put that down to 5 and see what we get. Yeah, the lower the wattage you run this at will show you exactly where your coil is burning from, heating up from, I mean. There. I'll hold that there while I look for my other pliers. Oh, there they are. I haven't found a small pair of needle nose pliers yet. So, you can use tweezers for this. And, see that glow? I'm running that 5 watts just so that I can get the coil glowing. Yeah, I had wanted to bring that up a little higher, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. This wire's so thin I don't want to fool with it too much. Maybe I can get this in. There we go. Just gently lift it up a little bit. Now I could have flipped that over. There, it's still burning nice. I could have flipped my wire over actually, so that the legs were on the bottom. But heck with it, this will do. And what I'm using here is some cotton bacon. You see, you get this 2mm hole, and so you're going to want just enough to fill that hole, and a little bit extra. I like doing the Scots roll. Now I like on these small coils to have my wick a little bit tight, which means twisting it or forcing it to come through. There, so that's nice and tight. See, it won't pull right through anymore. And reach around, grab my scissors, reach up. Now I'm going to trim these a little long. And right here, I have an old stinky container. It's actually a tobacco container, which is a good use for it, since I'll never see tobacco again. Then what you're going to do is you put your wick inside your casing here, and you see it sticks out a lot. There's a screw here. We'll tighten that up. Not always as easy as it sounds. And I'm gonna actually cheat my ass off. I got a toothbrush. And that's just fluffing the cotton up nicely. Now that it's fluffed up somewhat. Your scissors. Check your juice holes. And fluff your cotton again. And you want to get this cotton pushed down just so you're covering the juice holes. And just down far enough that you don't get it in the thread. There's a thread in here, and the reason for that thread is your little top cap. Screw that on. I'm using a Vapor Max Captain's Breakfast. It actually tastes kind of like Captain Crunch. And I'm going to take my little cover off again. Put some juice on the coil. You want to juice that coil because remember, the core is very tight. Put an ample supply on the wick, but not down that little hole. And I like to put a drop on the sides just to prime it. Get it started drawing through. And while I'm putting the cover back on, that's soaking in. Now I've actually modified this somewhat. I've drilled the holes out a little bit bigger here, and as well as on the bottom I've drilled it just a bit bigger, and this will let me adjust even more airflow. That's at the lowest watt. Let's go to about 1612. Yeah, see that? Yum. Getting hungry now. It smells like Captain Crunch. So, all I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch my tank. This will be a good time for me to show you the difference in the air holes. These are identical RBAs, with the exception oh, we can see that or not. The holes in this one are actually about twice the size. Of the other one. I guess you can't see it very well. I'll stay there. Put my cover back on. Now this is actually a top filling tank, but since I got it opened, I'll just give a little squeeze down inside. Being careful not to get it up inside that little chimney there. And you want to make sure that your little hole in the tank goes over that little chimney. And that's all there is to that. That was on 12 watts. It's running just this camera a little bit. I probably wouldn't use as much more than 14 watts. If you do a long pull, you get a little bit, it starts to burn a little. So there's your 1.5 ohm build on a Kanger atomizer, RBA for a Toptank Mini. Now you'll have to excuse the mess you see in the background. That's my other computer desk and a whole bunch of junk that I've got stacked up on it. Although I might get a little low here. these yellowfish if I can get them.